Hi, we're live on Facebook. I'm Evie Ohmsgirl. This is Catherine.
Hi. So excited to be here.
Yeah, so we're going to be chatting about her as an entrepreneur, as a mom, having the courage to be an entrepreneur and wear all the different hats, a bit about her background and being crafty and artsy and spiritual and all of that, how it all ties into one. And yeah, do you want to start and just give us like a little thing, or I don't know, your favorite about yourself, or yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a mama of two. I have been in the entrepreneurial world since forever. I knew from a young age because my mom stayed home with us that I wanted to always stay home with my babies. And finding a way to do that was kind of a challenge because, most of society pushes you to the 9 to 5. And I really didn't want to do that. So I got into network marketing with a low ticket company, supplements and natural stuff, because I am more naturally minded and I thought I vibed with the products. I still love the products, but I didn't want to promote them the way that they were being promoted. So I then moved into turning my passion into a business, which was fiber arts. And
so does the crafts considered fiber arts?
So fiber arts is anything done with fabric, yarn, needlepoint, anything that you take a fiber and turn it into something else.
Right. I just never heard that term. That's cool.
Yeah. So, most of what I do is with crocheting and knitting because that's easy to take anywhere. And I take it everywhere.
I'm wanting to learn how to macrame. I just bought string to macrame because I love watching stuff sometimes to chill out, but I can't just sit still. So I feel like if I macrame.
Yes, for sure. I haven't. That's one that I haven't learned yet. I've been wanting to, but yeah, it just hasn't happened. But after I went into that, I quickly learned that I was going to have to wear all the hats to make any kind of money selling my work. And that was exhausting while being a mother, trying to make all the items and then also take the pictures and post them and find out where to list them to sell them and pricing.
Yeah. And sending too, all the shipping, that's a whole other.
Yeah. Having to ship everything myself and find out packaging, how to best package things in a right way. At least it's not something super fragile, so I don't have to worry about that, but it was still a lot.
But you still do that, but more as a passion and enjoyment rather than
Yeah. So I actually realized recently that I started that because everybody else was telling me I should sell my handmade items. They were raving about my items and saying, oh, you should sell this. You should sell this. You could sell this. Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
It was a way to make money.
What it takes, the whole background, right? You're just saying.
And it took the fun out of my hobby.
Right.
So now I got my hobby back, but I still sell things here and there when people want them.
And yoga too, because sorry to jump, but because did you ever do? Because you did a lot of wellness stuff, but did you ever teach yoga or no?
Nope, I never did. I've thought about it
right now,
but I'm just doing it myself and sharing my results from it. So,
and I think you committed 90 days or something.
You're
yes.
So along with our mentorship, I committed to 90 days of yoga, and it's been going pretty well. The first 30 or so, I really just did 5-10 minutes on my own. And
Hi. Real life.
okay, yep. I really just did 5 to 10 minutes because that's all I could really fit into my schedule. But this month I shifted to doing 30 minutes and I've been seeing a lot better results.
Amazing.
So that's been a fun journey on top of everything else. Did
Yeah.
you need something? No? Okay. Go on.
So being a mom and being into wellness, and you did the low ticket stuff, and then now you've switched. You said it was a year. You had your
Yes,
anniversary, or you're about to have your year anniversary.
I did. In May, I had my year anniversary for finding the better way. The automation that I needed to be able to have time to take care of these guys and go live my life and be out and do yoga
Have your hobby back.
instead of right and have my hobby back instead of it being work and a job. So I found my mentor, who's Saber, and she was this amazing creatrix, and she always posted these empowering photos in her stories. And I knew I had to have whatever she had because she was out living fun, doing whatever she wanted, getting paid to be her on social media. And turns out anybody can do it, because I then was, okay, you need to go out. No, yes, thank you. Distraction. So yeah, I had found Saber, who invited me to this master class. I was like, okay, another thing to add to my plate that was already full and I was drowning in it. But something that she posted or the vibe that she had told me that I needed whatever this was. So I finally said yes after watching her for almost a year.
Wow.
And what I found was this amazing community that really has the high ticket offer that was the difference between me hustling and being the product billboard and me actually getting to live my life and just be myself and show up on social media, sharing value.
Yeah. And upping your yoga to 30 minutes a
Yeah.
day and doing more of your hobbies, having your kids at home. And do you
Mhm.
homeschool too, or?
Yep. I unschool. So bear with me. 24/7, 365.
Took them on a little trip too, right? Just like a random trip.
Yeah, we did just recently go to Blue Springs here in Florida, and it was super fun because it was an adventure. We didn't plan to go at all. My friend had posted on her page about her kid's birthday party that nobody was going to because they all had other crazy life stuff or whatever. So I was like, okay, well, wait a minute. I'm just down maybe a couple hours. I can go. I'll show up because my kids want friends anyways. Turns out, though, we were talking about 2 different springs. So I show up to the springs that I thought she was going to be at, and there's like a whole long line because they were already pretty full. So they weren't letting any more in until more people had left.
Oh.
So I'm waiting there. I'm letting her know that I'm here. And I had even sent like screenshots of the map where I was. And she said, yeah, that looks right. You should be in the right place. But no, because I got in and then we like walked around forever. And it's like, okay, we're not at the same place.
But it still looked really fun, and you're still able to do things like that with your kids without overthinking, overscheduling, which is Nice. So what was it courageous wise that you finally, like you said, you were watching Saber for a year. What was it after that year that finally gave you the courage to be like, okay, this feels different. Let me just try this so I don't have to hustle the same way. And how did you say it? I wasn't a billboard anymore, or what did you say?
I wasn't a product billboard anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't even remember what exactly it was that was just like, okay, I've got to do this. But I know like a huge part of it was, I think it was like a dip in my sales in my other business. And then with like the everything going on in the world and not being able to work a couple of my other businesses, I was like, okay, I've got to find another way to get out of the current predicament that I was in, because I didn't want to have to get a job, because I was at that point of having to get something else if nothing changed.
Right. But the investment though, like that takes like a bit of, you have to have courage to go for it, right? But all of your pain really was, you were like, been here, none of that's going to be worth it. So let's just go for it because it's worth it. 'Cause it's going to open a lot of doors. And like you said, it really has in regards to your lifestyle and you're being able to be a mom the way that you want, right? And just have that. So is it really been kind of like really what you have wanted? Like do you feel like you should have done it sooner, or like you had to kind of go through that and wait a year, or like what do you think about that? Like people that are watching, like as mom, juggling it, like
I mean, my regret is definitely not doing it sooner, because the shift that I've seen since I did say yes to myself and finally committing to this has been huge. Going from barely surviving to actually loving life again and getting to share the value that I want and make the impact and create the legacy for my kids to leave.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's amazing. Thanks for sharing all that. And what else? Is there any other last minute thing you want to add that, people that have kind of been like checking things out, checking out your page or checking out my page, with just, you have 2 kids. Some people have 1 kid, some people have 3, but like, finding the way to juggle it, like, is there any tips in that of how you really just have learned to kind of, because I feel like I rely on you as my accountability partner. I'm like, what does that mean? Like how many times a week I'm like, what was that? And you're like right on it. So is that just something that's innate in you, or is it something you've just developed, or just,
I think that goes down to the personality types. Because I do tend to be more green and analytical. So I want all the details.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing for me when I finally decided to say yes to myself was hearing Brooke W. March's story. About going from $57,000 in debt to thriving and having a legacy income, and just recently taking months off of work. Like knowing that she built her business in 2 hours or less a day, just in the pockets of time, because you really it really is just a matter of shifting how you're using social media.
Yeah. And how you're using it.
We're always on here anyways. So why not make money off of that?
Yeah.
So that was the biggest thing to me, is knowing that I could do this in short spurts of time. Whereas my other businesses that I had, I was always on my phone, because I was having to post like 5 times a day. That's how I was trained. And then messaging all the people, spamming them more likely, trying to get the sales. And it was really coming from a place of desperation rather than now I get to come in with service and it's more aligned.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing that I feel for sure too is, and we're like taught like debt is such a bad thing, but it's like when you hear stories like Brooke's, it's like when you can utilize it to step forward, it's so worth it, especially when all the other pieces align, right? Where you get to service, where there's sustainability, there's things for your health and, just your mental health too, of being able to, do all of that without being the school board and everything. Right. So yeah, that's amazing. Well, thanks for sharing your story. And it's nice to connect on here. And I hope you all have a beautiful day. Thanks for showing up for my Wellness Wednesday. And we'll talk to you all soon. And we'll have links below if you want to check out Catherine's stuff or my stuff.
All right. Bye.
Bye.